Pittsburgh champion of the BBWAA. I want to congratulate you on winning the team MVP, the Roberto Clemente Award, and Steve Blass Award for Team Cy Young. Just coming into the year, what did this year mean compared to your expectations that you had for yourself?
Yeah, I don't really come into the year with any expectations in terms of numbers and anything like that for myself. Obviously, I've pitched pretty well this year, but I've grown a lot, learned a lot. So that's the thing I'm most excited about. Learn, what I need to do, and then also what we need to do. So it's been a solid year for me, but there's room for us to get better, so we need to focus on that in the offseason.
Paul, obviously the pitching award, but the significance to you to be team MVP?
It's cool. Gotta keep going.
Paul, where do you think you've grown this year? Maybe both as a player and then maybe as a leader inside this room.
I've just learned a lot. It's teams are attacking me differently. The league's always changing, so you look at teams that had success last year that aren't having success this year. There's a reason for that. So I've seen a lot of that, and learned a lot about how to pitch really, because the book's out on me. So just learned a lot there.
It seems like you've been able to stay a step ahead though in most cases. Do you feel that way? I mean, they got the books out on you, but it seems like the book is changing. Like what you're doing is changing.
Yeah, it's always changing. I think there are times where I've felt that I've been able to stay a step ahead. There have been times where it hasn't felt that way. So, but that's baseball. I think we did that last year too. I just didn't realize it quite as much as this year.
How do you feel you've handled a full season as the ace of the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Physically, I feel good. So it's the goal coming into the year is to be healthy and make every start. So to this point, I've done that.
I think last time we talked to you, you said hopefully next year it's just go out and pitch. For the most part, does it feel like that's how it went?
Yeah, and there have been times where we've needed to take volume down, where I've felt that I'm dragging a little bit, and this is still my first big league season essentially. So learned a lot about how I need to prepare, what I need to do for my body, but obviously it's it's worked for the most part, and I've stayed on the field, which is the biggest thing. So it's exciting for next year.
The season hasn't gone any way that anybody in this room wanted. You haven't been in many situations like this before. What has that been like to sort of go through it, and how have you tried to stay upbeat when the season didn't meet maybe as a team, from a team aspect, your expectations or anybody else's really?
Yeah, I mean, regardless of how the team's doing, we all have to show up and do our work. We have to show up and prepare to play and win every game. So that hasn't changed, from last year to this year, from 2 years ago to this year. So, I've learned a lot about my body and preparing and game planning and stuff like that, which has helped me. But it's a trap that you can fall into if you let yourself fall into it. And I think myself and a lot of the guys in this room have done a good job not letting that happen. This is a wasted year if we don't learn what we need to do, and we don't know why we didn't go out there and do what we wanted to do. If those things happen, then it's a wasted year in my opinion, and I don't think that's happening. I think we, individually and as a team and as an organization know the adjustments that we need to make. So now we just got to do them.
Going into your final start of the season, what would be the biggest thing for you to be able to accomplish that day?
Just go out there and pitch like any other day.
Paul, you mentioned how teams are approaching you differently. How do you approach that challenge from your standpoint? I get to see what I'm made of every time I pitch, so that's really what it is.
Oh, you kind of leaned more heavily last season on the four-seamer and the splinter. How much have you evolved as a pitcher this year? How much have you kind of learned the pitch usage and what works game to game, batter to batter? How much of that has been a big part of this season for you?
Yeah, obviously it's changed a little bit. Yeah, I think just watching the game and seeing how hitters are responding, we're pitching a little different than we did last year, and that's because, it's been working. So there are other ways that we can get guys out for sure. It'll continue to evolve.
How important is it to you to finish with this sub-2 ERA? Very, very close.
Yeah, it is what it is. If I do what I'm supposed to, it'll probably happen. If I don't do what I'm supposed to do, it won't happen. So just got to go out there and pitch well.
Did you go into this year with the goal of contending for the Cy Young Award? Is that something that you were thinking about going in?
I think it's probably in a lot of guys' heads, but it's really easy to, get lost in that, I think. At the end of the day, it's about going out there and, going 32 starts or whatever it is, and pitching as well as I can every outing, and then, look up at the end of the year and see where we're at.
Paul, no pitchers won the Rookie of the Year 1 year and the Cy Young the next since Doc Gooden did it 4 years ago. That's pretty historic. Do you think? There's a lot out there in the Twitter sphere or whatever about what you've done over your first 50-some starts. Do you have an appreciation for that, or do you just think, man, look, I had a good day today, or I didn't have a good day today, and the team won today, or the team didn't win today, and that's what matters?
Yeah, that's pretty much how I look at it. It's you look up after 50 starts, that's 50 individual days, but I show up and pitch. That's 250, 300 days during the season where I'm doing the work, and that's 2 years, including the off season where I'm doing the work. So I'll have another 50 starts, and hopefully there's not this big drop off. I say hopefully there, that's I'm not pitching to try not to drop off my next 50 starts. Like, it's just about going out there and throwing up zeros, same as the first 50.
Paul, you didn't. This season obviously went well for you, but obviously for the team it didn't go as well as you would have liked. But is it a good thing to know next year you have guys like Bubba, Mike, and Braxton, and Jared coming back over next year, just to have that young pitching staff going into next year and just being ready to attack whatever you guys go after?
Yeah, but we thought that coming into this year too.
Is it nice to see some of these faces, though, like a guy like Endy, Esmeralda here, and Jerry Jones, just around the clubhouse and get them back with the team a little bit?
Yeah, it's good to see them. I missed them. That's the relationships we make in baseball are pretty special. Cool friendships. So good to see them. I haven't seen them for a while. Yeah.
Go back to what Tom asked. You guys had this great pitching coming into the year. You should still have it next year. What needs to change, either from an individual or team standpoint, to reach the goals that you guys have as a collective?
I'm not sure. I definitely have some ideas, but winning, a lot of it comes down to what you're willing to give up, what you're willing to sacrifice. I think as a group, it's going to take more sacrifices from us. And I say that broadly, but I think that's a big piece. There's guys that didn't play as well as they had hoped this year. Didn't play as well as they were expecting to. But like I said, we knew that coming into this year too. Like, there were guys last year that didn't play as well. Not necessarily the same guys as this year, but there's room to get better in this locker room. We just need to do it. I'm sure we'll get some pieces and do all that, but my mind right now is, what can we do within the locker room to get better now and for next year. But there's urgency to it, and we need to understand that and act on it.
How does that apply to you, Paul? You're among the league leaders in almost every category, but where is the room for improvement, or where can you be better next season?
Yeah, I haven't looked at it too much. That'll happen, over the course of the first few weeks of the off season. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out exactly what it is. I know I can be better. Just got to figure out what it is.
The changes within the room, is that something that you guys vocally discuss, or is that something that a player needs to look within themselves?
It's definitely discussed. I don't think I haven't really been in those discussions, but that's what it takes. You just mentioned, what are we willing to sacrifice collectively and individually. That's, looking in the mirror is a big part of that. So we need to do that, and I think everybody in this room can be better. And I believe that, going to the offseason, a lot of guys are going to see it that way and fight to get. You don't just go into the offseason like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, try to be the same player I was last year. Like, I don't. Some guys probably go into the offseason doing that. I would imagine they don't have success the following year, but. It's going to take a lot of guys looking themselves in the mirror and figuring out what it is that they need to get better at, and then making sacrifices to do that.
Paul, there was a tweet, and I hate to put a whole lot of stock in any tweets, but it said the Pirates, it was from John Heyman, the Pirates aren't going to trade Paul Skenes, they're going to extend him. Has there been any talks at all about potential long-term contract?
No, and it's not. I think that's that's not something I want to discuss during the season, and I think that they haven't brought anything up to me. I think out of respect for that too. So, no discussions on that.
Paul, when we talked in spring training, we talked about you being a leader and some of these guys looking to you. How do you feel like you've accomplished being the best leader you could be this year through ups and downs? And admittingly, were there moments you feel like you could have been a better leader in here as well?
Yeah, for sure. And that's something that, I'll need to get better at. That some other guys in this locker room probably, need to be more vocal and get better at too. We have good pieces in here. We just got to, do it and make sacrifices and be intentful in doing it. So I certainly, there were moments where I certainly could have done better. But I can't do it on my own. Coach, Brian, Mitch, go down the list. They can't do it on their own. We need to come together and figure that out. I think Donnie can't do it on his own. So we gotta, that's something that we can definitely get better at.
Thanks, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.